Do you think he's better than Brock Purdy?
Brock's closer to 5 than he is to 10. So there's a lot of fucking terrible quarterbacks. There's like
yeah, but go through the list. We're gonna do quarterback rankings now. We're gonna go from SF.
They're both better than Dak Prescott, and people try to convince me Dak's top 5 every year.
I don't even think I'm disagreeing.
Double check your camera.
I just like to argue.
Double check your camera. Yeah, I to be honest, I got to pull up the list because everything sounds good until I start counting the names, and I'm like, oh, it's more like 10. All right, Mahomes is better than both of them. That's it. It's Mahomes, and everyone else is fucking Dak Prescott. It's the same.
All right, watch. We'll do this quick because top 10 is crazy. You've got Lamar, Mahomes, Josh Allen. That's 3. You've got.
I'm not taking
Stafford,
Lamar over Jared Goff or Brock Purdy. You put that on.
You're not taking Lamar Jackson over. I mean, that we have to end the conversation. I mean, I got
why?
nothing.
So you can never win a world. He's not going to win shit, dude. What every year? Just come on, man. Not actually overrated.
It doesn't mean I'm taking Jared Goff over Lamar Jackson.
Completely overrated. Do you think the Niners would be better? Do you think Detroit would be better with Lamar? Based on what? Based on what? He can't.
I don't think it's unreasonable to say yes. I don't think it's unreasonable to say yes. Yeah, there's a couple off-schedule plays that Lamar Jackson probably makes against.
He can't make any of the on-schedule ones. So what does it fucking matter? It's pointless.
Don't think Brock played that one in the Super Bowl either. They scored 19 points. So I don't think it's inarguable. It's not like that offense scored 35 points. Scored 19 points. So I think it's reasonable to say Lamar gets you to 20, 21. They win the Super Bowl. I don't think that's crazy.
Lamar has you lose against the fucking Green Bay Packers. That's what happens. I don't know. I'll give you CJ Stroud.
I don't
on potential. I'll give you Matt Stafford
Justin Herbert
because he's fucking better. I give you. I officially pulled up a list just so I can see some names.
I'm looking at it too.
I'll give you Justin Herbert better,
right? Because if you think Jared Goff is good, you're going to take Kirk Cousins. I forgot Joe Burrow. They're Kirk Cousins. Like we're going to 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, probably closer to 10.
That's Jared Goff. Would you take Jordan Love?
No, he's not good. He's not good at all. Yeah. I'm not talking about upside. I'm not saying in 3 years. No, he's not good. I watched the two of them play. You take a
quarterback. You would take for a quarterback as your franchise quarterback. You would take Jared Goff over Jordan Love.
Those are 2 different questions.
What's the question? The
question is not who do I think will be better in 5 years or who do I think will have the better 8-year career. I'm saying today, if I have to assemble a team with the goal to win games in 2024, who am I taking? Not who do I think will be the better player long term. If I think who will be the better player long term, I might take someone who's in college right now. I might take
Trevor Lawrence might be better. Like you got to keep in mind he's playing in Detroit on a team that has an elite offensive line and run game. I mean, I like Jared Goff, but like saying he's objective.
And what does Baltimore have?
Same thing. That's why Lamar's an MVP. Like that's he's an MVP. I mean, I don't know what to say. Jared Goff's not MVP. Like you could argue that Lamar kind of sucks in the postseason. I kind of agree, honestly. But he's better than Jared Goff.
Yeah,
Lamar's better than Brock. Better than Brock Purdy.
There's bleeding viewers who are mad at my takes. I love it. I don't know. I think they're all overrated. I think everyone. It's like people get hyped about Lamar Jackson the same way they get hyped about Trae Young, the same way they get hyped about these guys. Where I'm like, cool. You put up numbers. You put up flashy plays. I know what it's going to look like in the playoffs every year. I know it's going to look like it's not my cup of tea. I don't know. Boring.
Lamar not boring.
Good player. It's a fine player. Anyway.
Jared Goff's pretty boring. There's no way you want to watch Jared Goff in a 16-game season. Come on.
I like watching Detroit's offense. Throws it to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's cool. Gives hands.
You like the
hands it
receiver.
off.
You
He's
like the
cool.
great tight end. You like the great running backs. That's what I'm saying. He's boring.
Oh, he's super boring.
He's a good quarterback.
But I
He's just
like. I
boring,
don't.
yeah.
I don't
Look,
actually like watching quarterbacks just run around like the Russell Westbrook. Like that's not good quarterbacking. So that's just.
I enjoy
That's
it. I
just.
think it's fun.
That's just.
You see him rip the Niners apart? He was throwing the ball, slinging the rock.
Yeah.
I don't love Lamar. I like arguing with Sam. That's what I like.
That's fine. You can argue.
He's
I don't really
little too,
like. I just
aggressive with the take. So I don't love Lamar. I don't think anybody does. That's not.
I think here's where I stand on this till we move to the podcast. Every fucking quarterback in the NFL is overrated, except for maybe 2 or 3. Pretty much everyone assigns all credit to them and gives none of the blame to them in any capacity. Everything's in context when you're coming to talk about quarterback. What actually matters is your ability to execute an offense, and that's not really sexy for most players. So I generally hate all of them. I think they're all overrated. I think everyone wants to give them credit that they don't deserve. End of story on that topic. Jalen Hurts sucks too. I'll throw it out there too. He sucks also. Yeah, Andy literally left the pod. That's how I know. That's how I know I've just pissed him off.
No.
I know.
I'm here. Is it better, guys? The comments are killing me, and I deserve it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to some basketball takes. Quarterback is the hardest position on the field. Overrated.
It is by far. It is. Like it doesn't matter how great your defense is, how great your receivers are. If you just don't have a quarterback that can even be average, you're fucking cooked, man. It's why they get paid an absurd amount, and it's like sometimes really that simple. Like, you can have the greatest team of all time, like the Niners, every other year, and it just doesn't matter.
No, Jimmy G is the worst of the bunch. Do not miscue my rant for me saying Jimmy's not that bad. Jimmy's horrendous. Kyle's entire value as a coach is being able to show people he can make a guy like Jimmy look competent.
But that's the problem. It can only take you so far, right? It's what it is.
Car's mid as hell too. Let's throw it out there too. I don't think I'm actually saying any of these guys are any good. Anyway, all right, let's get to it. I think we got to get to it. We got some bills to pay. Is what it comes down to.
Let's go.
Our big hands over. Oh, I like.
I'm still waiting to see on Brock Purdy. Still waiting to see.
Presented by Under Armour and $100 match deposit with the promo code Lightyears. Prize Picks. Make sure to sign up with Prize Picks. Promo code Lightyears. $100 match deposit. Welcome to Lightyears. Andy Liu. The Warriors win 137-116 against the Memphis Grizzlies. Are we back?
Are we back? Stop it. Good go. Good win.
It was a good win. It was you know what's funny about that game? Frustrating start to the game. I was ready to be like, oh, we're doing this again. And then end of the second quarter, I saw some life out of them defensively, and specifically Kuminga for me. Because everyone, Kuminga's had a nice breakout year 3, right? It's a nice solid start to the year, but it's one of those things where it's like he can score the ball, but I know he can do much more than that. In the second quarter, he made a few plays defensively, ball hawk, kind of just turning up the intensity. And that really blew the game open for the Warriors, and then it carried over into the third quarter. And to me, that excited me because that was the two-way wing tour de force Kuminga that we all hope that's the player we want him to be, right? It's not just getting 20 points. It's picking off passes in the passing, just D'ing guys up, flustering ball handlers, being disruptive in every aspect of the game.
These are the type of games that I think are built for Jonathan Kuminga. It's a run and gun game. Memphis is not really playing much defense. They don't care. They're just hoisting up shots. These are the type of games that he should dominate, and he did. So it's nice to see. I think these are the type of games that the Warriors have consistently not shown up to. And even though they struggled in the first quarter, I think you could argue that they did show up, though, right? Like they played hard to start. They jumped out to an 8-point lead. Things got frustrating when they went down a little bit, and Memphis had a couple offensive rebounds, but they competed. And I think we always point out that Kuminga is one of those guys that doesn't come out the gate and competes right away. Kuminga is one of those guys. Steph's one of those guys because he's older. Draymond, same thing. Wiggins, certainly. And so I think that's your starting lineup. And so tonight, you bring up Kuminga, I bring up the entire starting lineup. They came out and they actually wanted to play basketball. And sometimes, isn't that just what it's about? Sometimes, I think so often more than not, the Warriors, you look at the game that they played against the Knicks, the Spurs, the Chicago Bulls a couple weeks ago, and they just decided not to show up for 12 minutes. And that level of arrogance kind of bites you in the ass. And tonight it didn't, because they said, okay, 33-32 was the end of the first quarter. I actually thought that was pretty positive because they just cared. Like they just came out and they just gave it everything.
Yeah, like Memphis outplayed them. They just didn't have enough talent to like actually like if the Warriors came out with that energy versus a good team, they're down 42-18, something like that, right? And yeah, that's kind of the thing where have you noticed how Steve Kerr is just positivity coaching all year?
It's interesting.
Just kind of all year, he's just like, I believe in them. We got to just bring it more. I believe in them. It's a different approach to what I'm used to with him. It's just a different approach that I'm used to with him, where I'm used to him just kind of lighting guys up at all times. But maybe it speaks to the roster he has now. Maybe he doesn't have the vet savvy guys. Like, I don't think he's worried about hurting Draymond or Iguodala's feelings, but he's trying to figure out how to get guys like Kuminga, guys like Wiggins, those guys like really bringing it every night. And it's bringing a little bit of a softer approach. I don't know. They came out, to your point, they came out softish to start the game. Santi Aldama looked like he was going for 50 to start the game. But you know what? To their credit, they snapped into it in the middle of the second quarter. Third quarter was one of their best runs of the season. And I can't be too mad about that, because at least they did get there quicker. They did.
The positivity stuff is that's all Wiggins. It worked tonight. 22 points, 10 rebounds. I can't name a game that how many times this season Wiggins has had double-digit rebounds, but I mean, Fitz was selling us on this all game. He's selling the vibes. I'm a vibes guy. But Wiggins played like a guy that was if those two guys, you bring up Kuminga playing kind of two ways, but to me, Kuminga's not good enough defensively, so I don't even bother thinking of him as a two-way player. But Wiggins has shown that he can be good enough defensively. He's just not. Tonight, right? Tonight is a night where I thought he played pretty good defense. Desmond Bane just came back from injury. But I did play pretty well on him, and like that's the guy where you're just like, hey man, if you're gonna show up and play like this, 9-14, 4-6 from 3. I mean, maybe you don't shoot that well all the time, but this is the type of game where you're just gonna lock in defensively and you're gonna score 20 points. The Warriors are going to win the majority of these type of games. They're not going to lose to the Spurs, right? And that's all I'm saying. Like, it's not that hard. I don't think Wiggins had did you think he had anything special? Nah, like this is kind of just good Wiggins. This was normal for him. You know what I'm saying? So this now feels like a exceptional Wiggins game because we haven't seen him play this well, but this was a good night for him. And that's to Kerr's positivity stuff. You hear Kerr in the pregame, right? You talked about it earlier. He's like, we got to find a way to kickstart. I think Wiggins just losing in the flow of the game. We got to find a way to get him started, right? Stuff like that. And it's just like, whatever that means. But it worked tonight.
Yeah. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your camera, you okay?
Yeah, I had a little technical difficulty. I sent you text. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, on the Kuminga topic, the thing is, it's not inaccurate to say he's not a two-way player. But what's exciting about him is he's capable of being a two-way player. And for me, that was the more important part of tonight, which was there was a span in the middle of this game where you saw him be disruptive, point of attack, passing lanes, just turning the game over, And I think that's kind of if we're going to look at this season as kind of a development season, if we're going to look at this season as a springboard for next year, hopefully they make some serious additions in the offseason to, kind of reshape the roster, but with a lot of the same core elements. A large part of that comes back to, like, is Kuminga going to take that next step? Because I know he could score the ball, but can he play defense in a playoff series, that sort of stuff? And to me, that was exciting. To your point on Wiggins, yeah, I mean, it feels like, bad game, good game, bad game, good game. There's been no consistency all year.
No,
right?
There's been no bad game, good game. It's been bad, 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 good. Come on. There's been no alteration. It's been bad, 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 good, bad, 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 good. So yes, I would like bad game, good game, Sam. I would like bad game.
Yeah, I hear you, but
I
like,
would enjoy that.
Yeah, okay, you're right. but like in general, it's been there. There definitely has been a stretch of more, other than in late January, right before the trade deadline. Right. There hasn't really been a stretch of consistency out of him in general. So that's exciting. And the other thing to call out is, like, Steph. He's not really asserting himself as much of the season. And what is your read on it? Because tonight was 24 minutes. End of the third, it looked like they had the game in hand and he never went back into the game. But another 9 total shots is all you need to know about Steph's game. It's not like he played poorly or anything else, but he just took 9 shots. What is your read on this?
He's tired. It has to be tired. I know he hates it. But he's got to be exhausted. He got off that ankle injury. He really only sat a couple games. Like I don't want to say he rushed back because he looks fine, but I just think he can't give you 100% every single game, and it's not a slight to him. That's just how the world works. Even LeBron can't get 100% every single game. The thing with LeBron is he just gives you 100% on national TV games. I've noticed that he does very well on just giving you 100% national TV games, so it always looks good. But someone in the chat is saying that Steph said he won't be 100% because of his ankle. Like maybe like that one surprised me, but just kind of knowing who he is, it just doesn't it feel like he's just a little burnt out. Just what it is.
Yeah, and I do also, like, I'm trying to think of the correct way to put this because I don't think he's quite quitting on the team. No. But it does come across like he's spending a lot of effort getting other guys going. And a lot of it's like, look, man, we're only going to be as good as Kuminga and Wiggins are. So I'm going to put more effort into getting those guys going because I know I can get mine if I need to. I know I can go for 40. And that's kind of how these games look. And we're not used to it with Steph, but that's just how it looks to me when I watch him. Like, how did this game open? He was setting screens for Wiggins and Kuminga to get them going the whole way, right? He just didn't have to get to, okay, time for Steph to score 30 because no one else has anything going, which isn't a terrible thing, for being honest.
I like that point. I had not thought about that, where he's kind of sitting there and just saying, look, man, I could get 30. It might be efficient, it might be inefficient, but what does that really prove? What does it really do for us from a long game perspective? If I'm just doing this, they really need Wiggins to get going again. They really need Kuminga to take steps, which he has, right? They really need Klay Thompson to get going, which he has, right? So I think you're right. I think he's kind of saying, like, if I'm just going to burn myself out in these next 2 weeks and try to get us a couple wins, like, that doesn't really do us any good. Knowing the Warriors, knowing Steph and Steve Kerr, I think what you're saying is probably fact. It's probably fact. He's probably sitting there and going, like, I'm not coming out and running pick and roll, man. I'm just not.
What's the point? What is the point, metaphorically and just realistically, right? Like, what are we gaining from this? Like, they don't have a second option right now. Kuminga is their best second option, and he's doing a phenomenal job, and he's taking a huge step right now. But, like, yeah, they got to develop stuff, but before they're getting realistic on that front. So
yeah, promising game though. I mean, just you get those 2 wings going, like that's the type of game. And Draymond rebounded, right, because he had a bad game. against the Knicks. Came back from injury. They said he was questionable coming in and then showing up, and he looked good tonight. So I was just like, okay, like, is he playing through a back injury? Because it doesn't look like he's playing through a back